Hello and welcome to another episode of the We Don't Wanna podcast. This is the show where two certified dipshits make uncertified takes about your favorite series. We are your hosts. I am Scott, and joining me as always, my ancestors would spit on me if they knew I did a podcast with him. It's Zachary O'Tuckery!
I'm so glad you took the intro on that because I couldn't think of anything funny in this episode.
Fucking nothing, bro.
I had
got
nothing. Oh man, I bet you like getting spat on, right?
Oh,
you're probably into that.
Boy, if only you knew. If only you knew. How are you doing this week, pal?
Actually,
maybe you shouldn't answer that because you are in a weird headspace this evening.
I am so not only am I in a weird spot right now,
physically.
Yeah.
You're physically in a weird spot.
No, this past week has been Texas was frozen.
True.
It sucked.
I don't know. I got off work for a couple days.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed that. I was supposed to be in El Paso for my sister's wedding that I could not be in because our flights all got canceled. I could not get there. That sucked ass.
That does suck. That does suck.
It really sucked. Otherwise, I'm doing all right. Feeling a little loopy today, so this should be fun. You know, it's
He claims he hasn't been drinking, but I'm not sure I believe him.
I haven't, but I have gone like almost a full week without taking my ADD medication, and I took it today, and I feel like dialed in.
Well, no,
but
wait, that's what it was. This motherfucker was so proud of himself because for the first time in his life, he was on time for our recording tonight. He had the title card like ready to go and in the email. He was like waiting on me for once, which just a little peek behind the curtain. That never, ever, ever, ever happens.
Dude, this is another day in the life of Zach. What are you talking about?
Yeah, oh yeah, sure. So that's why I was so confused by the way you were speaking to me and your mental state, because I'm like, this is the most locked in Zach has ever been. So like, you're operating at like two different levels that just confuse me.
I feel, you know what's funny, dude, is I feel like the entirety of the time that you and I worked together, I should have been taking ADD medication. Can you believe that I did? I mean, not that I did much, but that I did even half of the shit that I did and dealt with.
I don't know. Like how
having,
do you think? like when did you start taking medication for that?
Well, I mean, I took medication when I was very young through most of like growing up, and I, as an adult, I have only recently started again. Which, by the way, let me just say, people out there, take care of your mental health because like this has been. I feel like a new person.
Big fan? Big fan of those meds, Arya?
I feel like I feel like these meds have quite literally stuck their hand up somewhere and are just controlling me like a puppet. And I'm like, oh, I can function now. I can do things.
Okay.
It's fun.
You're into people sticking their hands up somewhere and controlling you like a puppet, Arya?
Always.
Yeah.
It is I mean, that's a Friday night if we're being honest.
Yeah, true. You're very used to that. It's very loose already.
No. There it is. Well, it was there already.
Yeah. Zach's all over here trying to be sincere, like, hey, take care of your mental health. Yeah. And I'm like, loose buttholes.
Yeah, dude, we love a good loose butthole on this podcast.
And yeah, we gotta bring it back.
But no, dude, I am like so deep in a Dungeons and Dragons Critical Role hole right now with Amanda.
Yeah.
So fucking in it. If anybody out there watches Critical Role, it's so good right now. Having a good time. I know, Scott, you suck and you don't like D&D, but man, it is a blast. And I'm also playing a new video game per request of Scotty Westside himself. Did I say request? Per recommendation of Scotty
not really
Westside
a
himself.
Request. you asked for recommendations and I gave you several.
And so I'm playing Ghost Song, which is quite fun. I'm enjoying it.
It's a good game. Solid little game.
It's a solid little game for a solid little boy.
Please always describe yourself that way for the rest of eternity.
Okay.
Like, just anytime you're introducing yourself to just random strangers, like, hey, I'm Zach. I'm a solid little boy.
Will do.
I need that. I need that in my life, big time.
How are you doing, bud?
I'm fine. Yeah, like you previously mentioned, we were iced over last week, which again worked out pretty well for me. I got like a day and a half off of work. Had a nice long weekend basically because it just led right into my normal days off.
Slid right into somewhere.
Slid right in. I did nothing because I couldn't really do anything. You can't really go out.
You don't go out
I don't go out normally. In my defense, the previous week I did go out golfing and it was very cold that week too. I golfed in like 35-degree weather. That was maybe not my best decision, but yeah,
You're from Colorado. You got
not from
this
Colorado.
shit.
It's fine. But no, yeah, not much else. Just been watching things, playing video games, the usual.
Right on. Sounds fun. Sounds riveting. I'm sure everybody is just so ecstatic to hear that.
People are glued to their headphones. Their headphones are. Anyway, that's me. That's my life. Zach's a special hard little boy.
Hard.
We're gonna talk about this hard home episode.
Hey,
you like that segue?
There it is. That was good.
Game of Thrones.
Really terrible.
It was so bad. Game of Thrones, season 5, episode 8, Hardhome. One of the most famous, well-known, I would say, episodes in the entire series. With good reason. Are you ready to jump in here, pal? Because I feel like we're gonna have a lot to talk about.
I think we may have a lot to talk about, so
goody.
I think we should do this thing. Who's
All right.
going first? Me or
I'm
you?
going first, I think.
And I do it at.
Oh, you do it at somewhere at Castle Black.
At
All
Castle
right.
Black. Okay.
Here we go. We begin. We're so organized. We begin in Meereen, where Tyrion is trying to sweet talk his way into Daenerys' good graces. She asks him what she should do about Jorah, and Tyrion says she should spare his life but cannot keep him around. Daenerys exiles Jorah from the city again. He takes this very well and puts himself back into slavery with the fighting pit dude so he can fight in front of Daenerys. In King's Landing, Cersei is having a real bad time in prison as they won't give her any food or water until she confesses. Qyburn comes and tells her that she will soon be on trial for her crimes. Uncle Kevin with an A, my fucking guy, is back in town, serving his hand of the king. But Tommy Boy is not taking the arrest of his mommy and wifey well and refuses to leave his room. Qyburn advises Cersei that perhaps she should confess to get out of prison, but she refuses. In Braavos, Arya is selling oysters, clams, and cockles.
Oysters, clams, and cockles.
Oysters, clams, and cockles, while also spying for Jaqen. She tells Jaqen about the evil insurance man, and Jaqen gives her poison to kill him. Arya is real stoked about this. The waif, not so much. At Winterfell, Sansa asks Theon why he told on her, and he claims he was helping her because of what Ramsay does to those who try to escape, including himself. Theon lets slip that Bran and Rickon are still alive and runs away from her. Roose Bolton intends to, in case there's another Roose.
Yeah, just in case y'all are
just in case
just
you're
tuning
confused.
in.
Roose intends to wait out the incoming Stannis attack inside Winterfell, knowing that they'll starve or freeze soon enough. Ramsay disagrees with this plan because he wants to prove what a big dick man he is and says he only needs 20 good men, which sounds like... Yeah, I've seen that movie before. I'm pretty sure.
And what's funny... Never mind, I'll save it for the
Okay, all right.
For the discussion.
Back in Meereen, Daenerys and Tyrion have a chat about whether or not she should have him killed. She decides that she will have Tyrion advise her and help her get what she wants. Tyrion suggests that maybe she should stay here and forget the Iron Throne because no one in Westeros will support her. Daenerys is dead set on doing it because it is her quote-unquote right and home, and she claims that she's going to break the wheel.
At Castle Black, Gilly tends to Sam's injuries, and Ollie comes to ask him why Jon is saving the wildlings. Sam says that it's a hard choice, but that they don't stand a chance against the army of the dead without their help. Meanwhile, Jon has arrived with Stannis' ships at Hardhome to talk with the wildling leaders. Tormund kills the absolute shit out of the Lord of Bones when he tries to call out Tormund for allying with the Night's Watch. Jon tells the wildling leaders that he'll let them settle in the lands south of the Wall in exchange for their help fighting the White Walkers when the time comes. Tormund vouches for Jon, and some of the leaders agree to go, but some do not. As they are loading people onto the ships, the army of the dead attacks, and the music, god damn, hits.
God damn!
God damn!
God damn!
Damn! Oh, man, yeah, it's fucking good, dude. It's so good. Jon and the others fight valiantly to hold them off, but it's a slaughter. Jon and the Then's leader attempt to retrieve the dragon glass, but cannot as the Then is killed. Jon is getting his ass Jon is getting his ass beat by a White Walker, but manages to kill it with his Valyrian steel sword. Jon, Ed, Tormund, and my guy, motherfucking 1-1. Is that 1-1's music?
Is that 1-1's music I hear?
Dude,
Hell
it's
yeah.
fucking 1-1. Make it to the boats just in time to escape. They look back at the army of the dead as the army of the dead finishes off all who were left behind. The White Walker King flexes on Jon by raising his arms and bringing back the dead to his army. So hardcore.
Boy.
So good.
Oh boy, oh boy. What a fucking episode.
What a fucking episode.
What an ending specifically. Like, the episode is fine, whatever, but the last 20, 25 minutes, whatever it is.
It's absurd.
Like, holy shit.
Holy shit, my guy.
It is one of those special moments, those special Game of Thrones moments that sticks with you. Let's save our big talk for the Hardhome moments at the end, best for last, as we like to do. And let's get through the rest of this here. Because there is some decent stuff elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I think as a whole, aside from obviously the last part of this episode, it's great. But I think as a whole, this is a good episode. This is a very good episode.
It's very solid. So yeah, we start with the scene in the throne room in Meereen where Daenerys is deciding what to do with Tyrion and Jorah. Tyrion very slickly tries to like distance himself from Jorah, like, hey, I'm with him, but I'm not like really with him. Let me slide over here and turn around and look at him so we can both judge him. I'm like, that's a good move, Tyrion. Like,
dude, what? Like, this guy's like, he's played the game before, man.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah, smooth move by Tyrion. Also, just the whole like playing hard to get strategy is real good here, where he's like, I'm not sure. You have to prove to me that you deserve my service, bro. Like, I just don't give that out for free. Which is, again, good strats from Tyrion. I like them a lot. What did you think about this interaction here?
So so everything that you said, obviously, I really like Tyrion positioning himself kind of in between the two, passing judgment. He's so good at that. Really what I took into, and something I want to bring some attention to here is, what's his name? Miguel Sapochnik, who led the show on House of the Dragon, by the way. So big fan of his work. Everything he's put his hands on with Game of Thrones has also been incredible. He does this thing, and you and I pointed this out a lot during House of the Dragon during that review, and it's becoming more and more apparent to me that this is just kind of one of his things. He really likes silence, a lot, and I love it.
That's a good point. That's a good call out. Yeah.
So this episode starts with the most awkward silence, like just Dany staring down at Jorah and Tyrion, and it's just silent. Like, okay, what the fuck do we do here? Until obviously the silence is broken, but you know there's no music, there's no score during it.
Right.
It's just a little awkward, and just kind of like it gives you this like space to kind of sit in like okay, like
yeah,
where are we going?
That's
I love it.
That's a good call out. I wonder if he also did the episode when I excuse me, when I think of like silence in Game of Thrones, I think very specifically of that. It's got to be the episode right after. Well, no, it might be the beginning of season 3, right after Blackwater, when the episode opens with that very long scene in the small council room where they're all getting in their seats and there's like no dialogue at all for like the first 5 minutes. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, yeah.
And where Tyrion drags
slides
the chair. Yeah,
yes.
That's a great silent scene.
I wouldn't doubt it. But anyway, he plays with it quite a bit here in this episode, and one of the instances is here at the start, and we'll talk about this later, but there is a deafening silence at the end of this episode, and
yes.
I think it's just really cool.
Oh my God, yes.
Kind of a small like parallel, start the episode with silence, end it with silence. Anyway,
that's a good call.
I am just so refreshed to see Tyrion acting, to see Dinklage acting.
Yes.
Oh my God, dude. It's been too long.
It's literally
season.
been 7 episodes. Like,
yeah, and 7 episodes of him in it almost every episode.
Yes.
Without actually acting. It's been kind of not fantastic.
Yeah.
But regardless of my opinion or standpoint on Dany and whether I align with her or like her or what, Tyrion being Tyrion is always a sight to see.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so good to finally see this kind of kick off in this way. Just missing that quite a bit.
So staying in Marine, but going to the next scene, the scene with Daenerys and Tyrion.
Mm-hmm.
I am watching this scene and I am like, whoa. I'm like, this is like the best Daenerys scene in, I can't even remember how long. Like,
yeah,
she listens to reason. She's witty. She doesn't like fly off the handle and go full fire and blood at the drop of a hat.
She's also kind of self-aware.
She's self-aware. And then I literally typed all these things in my notes. I'm like, this is a really good, solid scene.
And then she ends it with her.
And then we get the fucking break the wheel line. And I came up with something. I realized, like, I feel like this is not an original idea to me, but like, this is like a trailer line. You know what I'm saying? Like, this line was written explicitly to put into a trailer, and it sounds cool when it's like in a trailer with music and other shit going on, but like in the context of the scene, it is cringe as hell, and I hate it, and it very nearly ruined what a scene that I was thoroughly enjoying. I was like, let's go, Daenerys. This is good back and forth.
I want to have a little bit of dialogue about this because so I have the same thought.
Okay.
And I feel like if you can kind of recall maybe back to maybe episode 1 of this season, I made a mention of how I feel like it's season 5 that
we talked about this. Yeah.
We did talk about this, where the dialogue writing, although it's not always bad. I mean, there's still pretty consistently good dialogue, but it becomes more punchy, where the writers are specifically wanting a 1 or 2 like left-right line.
Yep.
to stand out, right?
Yeah.
Trailer material, promotional material, something to put on a mug, you know, like that's the thing. Like they're looking for these like hard hitting 1-2 punchlines, and those have their place in cinema and in film and TV. I mean, they definitely have their place, but it can be done well. Okay,
it can be.
And it's just not here.
No. It's been done well plenty times in this show in various seasons, in various moments.
Like the one that stands out to me. Okay, first off, let me tell you what I think the problem is here. Is it lingers?
Yeah, maybe.
It lingers on the line, like you know, like.
I just don't think it's a good line. And
I also think that she sets up her own analogy.
Yes, also that.
Which is just cringe. It's so cringe.
She does the setup and the yeah. She's like, I do the alley and the
she
bitches.
teed herself up, dude.
Yeah.
So it's a little cringe, but like one of the effective uses of this is when it's not intended to be this punchy line.
Yeah.
And it's just more like genuine conversation. And the scene that really stands out to me that does it well is all the way back in season 1. When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Right. And that is a real conversation. Mm-hmm. And Cersei and or Lena Headey mean the fuck out of that when they say that. And it doesn't really linger too long. It's not like something that has like this whole fucking like back and forth like to dance to get the thing set up. It's just like, no, this is how it is, you know.
That's a great comparison. This one does not land nearly as well as that. I will say, despite that, I do want to reiterate and call attention to the fact that aside from that very end portion, I loved this scene. Like,
yes,
I was like, Tyrion is great here. It's like you said already. It's great to see Peter Dinklage like having
really
a great
acting.
fucking acting, having a great conversation again. This is the most I've liked Daenerys in a long time until she kind of ruined it at the end. But then I also had the thought, I'm like, is this less of a Daenerys problem and just she hasn't had anyone good to play off of in like basically the entire show? Like, think about
you think that maybe you're underselling Emilia Clarke's ability a little bit because she hasn't had.
I mean, possibly. I'm just saying,
talent.
like there hasn't. You think of the iconic scenes, and it's like, you know, the scenes that you and I love specifically, where it's like, you know, like the intense conversations between Tywin and Tyrion, you know, Jaime and Tyrion, or whoever it is, you know.
Tywin and Olenna, Tywin and Arya, Tywin and Tyrion, Tywin and Jaime, Tywin and Cersei.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know.
And even like you know, the scenes at the wall that we love. You've got Jon and Sam and Maester Aemon and Jon, you know, Ed, even Sir Alistair to an extent. And it's like, Daenerys doesn't have anyone on that level to play off of. Yeah, and maybe that's a shame.
That's okay. So I'm really glad that you have this.
Listen, I'm trying
consideration.
I try to be objective as possible. Even about like Daenerys.
I feel like you have been vocally against Emilia Clarke, like not liking her much. I could be wrong. I could be mistaken.
No, I like her outside of the context of Daenerys way more.
Okay.
Like, she seems like so like bubbly and like fun, and
I think that I'm talking more so about like your opinions on her acting.
Her acting specifically, it's very hit or miss in my eyes.
I mean, do I think that she's at the level, especially in what we're seeing here in the show, where she can carry an entire scene herself? No.
Right.
But even then, though, the scenes where characters can carry a scene, they almost like in a way use lesser actors and actresses kind of like as a punching bag. Or at least that's kind of like how I picture it, right? Like for example, like Rory McCann when he's doing like the chicken line, right? Like the other people in that scene, other than obviously Maisie Williams, like who was that guy? You know, it doesn't really matter. Right. He's fine. You know, it's not that he's a bad actor, but like it's
It's Rory McCann carrying the scene.
Correct. It like
solely though.
The
basically.
position that they have almost elevates Rory McCann to like be like, man, this dude is really stand out, right?
Right.
And I think you're right. Danny doesn't really have that. Emilia Clarke doesn't really have that.
That gear where she can just,
right.
I will own and carry the scene by myself.
Correct.
But
right.
To her credit, when she's paired with a very good actor, Peter Dinklage here,
she goes toe to toe.
She does great here.
Yeah,
the last line.
So okay, now because I've criticized the last line, and I think it deserves the criticism, but I want it to be known that I'm not as hard on that as I think you are.
Sure.
The thing that I like about it is, to me, it's like Danny. This is the first like real like idea or like concept of like a vision that she's just like she said I want to go take back over the Seven Kingdoms. And I like when things kind of have like the idea of like changing the status quo, right?
Sure.
So in regards to Westeros and to the Seven Kingdoms, this is the first iteration of her saying, I don't really care about the other houses. Like, I want to break the way that the system works. And conceptually, I think that's cool.
Conceptually, yes. But realistically, Tyrion's right.
Tyrion is right. Which also, sorry for getting a little ahead here. But as we continue through the rest of these seasons, listeners who have not watched Game of Thrones and who are watching for the first time, you may hear us say that Tyrion doesn't always hit the mark in some of these later seasons. But I think that setting this up and giving credit where it's due, his first opportunity to advise Danny, I think he's giving the best advice.
Yeah.
Incredible advice. Daenerys should stay in Meereen.
Yes,
Daenerys should rule in the East.
There's her whole idea of Westeros is my birthright and my home is just so off base and ridiculous that I don't know why she is so set on it sometimes, because it's like that was her brother's thing, and her brother was a sack of shit idiot that she hated.
Now, what's cool though is like, look, you and I can have the perspective, and I think the humility to say that like, if she just said like, honestly, like I'm hungry for power,
sure, or
like I want to rule,
sure,
I would be like, okay, or it's a little less. What's the word? I guess it's a little less interesting, I think, to have that take. But
I don't know. I think that would be kind of interesting because it's unique. You don't always see that, you know.
Right? Yeah, I guess that's true.
It's like a very like for a hero type character to have like a selfish goal like that. I want to. I guess where my problem with her desire for that is, where does her motivation come from? It would be one thing if it was like, her brother, that's what her brother wanted, and her brother was like very kind to her and always took care of her and blah, blah. So she wants to fulfill that dream for her brother's sake. Is like, okay, that I buy, that I believe. But like, that's not the case. It's always just like,
I think the only, and I don't know, in my opinion, I don't think it's enough to be as headstrong on this idea as she is. But in my opinion, the only thing that really makes sense that would be like one of those things that she's lived with throughout her life is that the rulers in Westeros have been after her and trying to kill her since she was born.
Sure.
So there could be a little bit of like a revenge, like vendetta.
But all of them are dead and dying.
That's why I'm saying, like, I don't think it holds nearly as like as much of weight. I just think that like Daenerys cannot be talked into seeing reason, and it's like, listen, like, you want to inspire, you have the right idea of wanting to help the people that you're ruling over, and you're doing that.
Right.
You know, like, you've created a better world for these people here in Meereen and most of the other slave cities in the East. Like, why not? You have people here who idolize you and adore you.
Right.
Why not build on that?
For sure. It's an interesting conversation, a good scene. I I really didn't think coming into this episode we were going to be doing a deep dive on
I know.
Daenerys's like motivations.
Yeah,
but
hey, look, dude.
listen, that's the way it goes.
It's
sometimes.
cool. It is what it is. It's interesting.
To be totally fair, we probably give Daenerys the short shift plenty of times. So when she does have good, interesting stuff to talk about, we want to do it. So there you go.
Right. Yeah.
For all you Daenerys heads out there,
there's a lot of them.
There are, as a matter of fact. Anything else in Marine we need to talk about?
No, I think. Well,
Okay.
yes, in Marine, yes. Bro.
I
Jorah, dude.
Yes. Dude,
come on.
Thank you for reminding me of this because I wanted to talk about this. My dude is so down bad that he doesn't. I need to call this out.
Yours.
He does not sell himself back into slavery. He pays that guy to make himself a slave. He literally gave that man a coin to say, let me be a slave again. He paid to be a slave because he is such a Daenerys simp. Jorah, my
guy.
dude.
Like,
woof.
There's a lot to like about Jorah. Well, there's enough to like about Jorah.
Yeah.
But if his like undying loyalty to Daenerys wasn't rooted in like some weird fucking like love and like infatuation with this woman who is barely even an adult.
Yeah. He's so much older than her.
Dude, like, I mean, and like legitimately they meet when she's like 14 or 15.
Yeah, in the books, yeah.
Like,
she's
it's
14,
fucking, it's just weird.
Yep. And he's like 45.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. Like, I'm not trying to be like I don't think that sounds ageist. I think that sounds like, hey, you shouldn't go for people
right,
that are,
no.
You know,
right.
like literally a fucking child.
And this takes place in a fantasy medieval society where obviously things are very different as far as that goes, but still.
It's like, dude, come on, bro. Like, root your loyalty to her in something else and it might be understandable.
Yeah.
Or it might be okay, but this is weird. I don't like it.
Yeah, listen, like they tried to pull it off as like, oh, I'm loyal to her because of what I saw, like with her dragons being born, and whatever, dude. We fucking know. We fucking know,
dude.
reason.
You're hurting for a squirting, dude.
True. King's Landing. Cersei's. Speaking of having a bad time, Cersei's having a bad time. Yeah, it's just. She done played herself. And she is.
She even says, you know, when she's talking with Qyburn, he says something about like belief, like basically
is the death
like
of reason or something to that effect.
And she's like, I wish you had told me that sooner.
Yeah, right. Yes,
she knows.
Yes.
Like, she's like, I'm an idiot for doing this.
I did appreciate that as well. I noticed that.
But again, we always have to harp on it. Lena Headey. Man, like, these scenes suck to watch because obviously, like, it's shitty. She's not the greatest like moral character, so I guess it's okay to see her like suffering a little bit, but like, boy, does she really act the fuck out of it, man. Like, she's just so goddamn good.
She's very, very good.
Very believable, very into it. Good for her.
Yeah, I don't think I have much else to say about King's Landing. It's just kind of her being in prison and, you know, Qyburn dropping a couple hints to us about, hey, the work still continues.
The work continues, yeah. Talking about fucking zombie boy over there.
Zombie Mountain, yeah. And Uncle Kevin with an A is back. I can't wait to see him. Kevin with an A.
Yeah, poor Tommy boy, man. Literally just like locked in his room. What a bitch. That guy needs to.
I don't know how much I feel sorry for him.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I want to say it's self-inflicted, but also, like, the kid is just in way over his head. Like, he is being manipulated by literally everyone around him, and he is just in over his head.
Kevin with an A coming into the picture could be.
That should be a good thing for him.
Should be a good thing for him. Yes, but.
If he was willing to get out of his room and go listen to Kevin with an A.
Yes, yeah.
Braavos, Arya, oysters, clams,
and cockles.
Hell yeah. I am not like an oyster guy. Do you eat oysters?
I've never had oysters, actually.
I've
never tried.
I've had them once, and it's just like, as I recall, just kind of slimy and rubbery and salty. I don't know if I get the appeal much at all.
Well, slimy and rubbery is a pretty everyday thing in my life.
It's
so
salty.
Oh, yeah, no.
If we're being real, it'd be pretty swalty?
Swalty. Swarly.
Swarles Barkley. Yeah, evil insurance man is just like, I love how this is just like, this goes from like 0 to 100 in a minute. It's just like,
yeah.
Oh, he's a gambler and this and that. Here's poison. You should probably go kill him.
Kill that guy. Dude,
like,
okay.
Jesus.
I wish that what Arya is up to was more fun and interesting.
Yeah.
Sadly, it isn't.
It's not.
It is still good that we're not forced to watch her clean bodies, do the whole wax on, wax off thing for another 4 episodes. But like, I don't know. I know. Okay, obviously I have my opinions about it now because I've watched the show several times. But even my first time, which Arya was one of my favorite characters, first time watching the show, I was still like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
Like, get her out of here. Get the fucking thing moving on. Like, what are we doing?
The thing is, we were spoiled for the first 4 seasons when it came to Arya because it was, everything going on with her was arguably some of the most interesting stuff happening always. Whenever it went to an Arya scene, it was like, oh, this is going to be a banger, guaranteed. Like, first she's, in King's Landing, with Syrio and her dad and all that shit rules. And then she's with Yoren. And then she's with the Brotherhood Without Banners and the Hound. And it's just like, oh, Tywin. How can I fucking skip when she's in Harrenhal with Tywin? And it's like, we got spoiled with Arya scenes just being like some of the best scenes every episode without fail. And now they're not. And it's just like, I miss that.
Well, aside from like the scenes being good, like she's just a fun character.
Right. Yes, no, 100%.
And we just don't get that anymore. Also, on a material level, I fucking hate the stupid outfit and her fucking hair. Dude. It reminds me of Sid the Sloth from Ice Age.
Does he have braided hair?
No. It's because, okay, so like, this is going to be a very weird
such a weird comparison.
But, okay, so Arya kind of already has a smushed face, right? It's not very long.
Yeah, sure.
And then you add the buns,
the
widerness to it.
The widerness,
the width to it with the buns. And I don't know, it just reminds me of the shape of Sid the Sloth, like his head. I don't know, dude, but like, look at a picture, you might see it. You might see what I'm talking about. I don't fucking know.
Fair enough. Let us know if Zach is a complete psychopath or if you see it. There's literally nothing else going on in Braavos. The only fun we get here is oysters, clams, and cockles. Which is.
Did you ever hear the YouTube like remix of that?
No.
Oh my god, dude!
Is it fire?
It's fucking fire. It's terrible.
It's terrible.
Don't ever listen to it.
Don't do it
unless you want to hate yourself.
The Winterfell stuff again. Not a ton here.
Good scene though.
The Sansa Theon scene is a solid scene. Just she's like so fed up with Theon's bullshit with good reason.
I need to call attention to Ramsay's. He goes, I need 20 good men.
We're not to that part yet.
Yeah, no, but it's just so fun. That's my first note on Winterfell.
It's so
I need 20 good men.
I fucking hate Ramsay, dude. Oh, that dude is so cringe.
I don't need an army.
And
I need 20 good men.
We're not to it yet, But I just want to point it out right here. What he does with said 20 good men is so fucking stupid and impossible and dumb and just poor writing, and it pisses me off.
Yeah. Hey, we're jumping ahead, Scott.
Ramsay fucking sucks.
Yeah, Ramsay's...
Roose is right, as usual. Ramsay's just being a goddamn chode face, and the Sansa Theon scene, though.
20 good men.
I need 20 good men
20,
in bed with me.
I just need 20 good men. It's my favorite video on porno.
Yeah, now Sansa knows that Bran and Rickon are alive. I don't know. What do you want?
Yeah, that's a good scene. Theon, Alfie Allen, great job.
Yeah,
he's really
he's
like fucked up and yeah, look, can we move on?
Let's move on.
Okay.
let's get there's the quick Castle Black scene, but it's more of a lead into the good stuff.
Well, I did actually want
right.
to mention something about Castle Black.
Hit me.
So the conversation between Ollie and Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, because this is past where I've read in the books,
mm-hmm.
Does this conversation happen in the books? Is Ollie even a character in the books? I can't even remember.
Ollie's not a character that I can recall. No.
Okay.
Well, there is maybe he doesn't play as significant of a role if he is.
He asked Sam, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the deal with this? And
what's the deal with the wildlings? Sorry.
What the fuck?
My inner Jerry Seinfeld just burst out of nowhere. Sorry, my bad. Continue.
I've never heard you do that ever.
You never heard me do Jerry Seinfeld? Oh shit! I've been keeping that one under wraps for years.
Dude, why you holding out on me, bro?
I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. Fuck. So, what's the deal? All right. So he asked Sam, "Hey, what's the deal with this shit?"
Yes.
And Sam, does a terrible job of explaining. He just, remember how I told you I get really upset when like you don't explain things when like TV shows.
I don't know. I feel like Sam explain like he tells him how it is. He's like, I've seen the Army of the Dead. And it's way worse than the wildlings. I don't care if you saw your family slaughtered in front of you, kid. They're worse.
Yes, I know, but I just think that like a little bit more conversation, like, hey, listen, Ollie, like first things first, you got to understand that like they're people, like they're literally just people,
right?
Like they're just on the wrong side of the wall.
Yes.
Okay. And maybe if we make a peace with them, you know, like I guess like actually talk through it.
Sure.
I don't know. Okay. That's really not the point of this.
Yeah.
So he asked Sam. Oh, I'm sorry. Sam says like sometimes we have to make hard decisions.
Right. True.
That on the outside maybe don't look like they're the right decision, but you know them in your heart to be true.
Mm-hmm.
And Ollie responds with, "Do you really believe that?" And Sam says, "Yes, I do. In my heart, I believe that."
Mm-hmm.
And you almost get this like, I'm not gonna like give away or get too ahead here, but you almost get this like affirmation. It's like almost like he was looking for some affirmation there.
Like it strengthens his resolve in some way.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good call out.
Do you feel like that's what's happening there? Because that's kind of what I was picking up.
I think you're correct, and after you calling it out, I think that's a good takeaway. Because like Sam is of course meaning this in one way, and Ollie is maybe taking it in another way.
Right.
But yeah, I listen. when when I like the way that to skip ahead a little bit here, but when they're arguing about this whole thing when Jon is arguing about this whole thing with the wildling leaders,
right?
You know, he says something to the effect of like, I don't expect you to forget your dead. I won't forget mine. But the White Walkers are coming, and none of us are powerful enough to stop them on our own. I think he says something to the effect of like, the Night's Watch can't stop them, the Wildlings can't stop them, not all the kings of the South can stop them, but maybe, you know, if all of us together, we can give the fuckers a fight, or something to that effect.
Right.
And, you know, that's basically what Sam is telling Ollie here as well, where he's like, listen, dude, lesser of two evils, enemy of my enemy is my friend, all that bullshit. We kind of don't have a choice. Also, again, to what you were saying earlier, they're just people that were born on the wrong side of the wall.
Right. Yeah, so it's, I don't know, it's, I don't think I've ever, I mean, I've watched this episode, I don't know how many times, and I've never really, like, watched that scene and been like, is Ollie asking for permission to make a decision here? Like,
could be
asking for advice to help strengthen his resolve. The way that you said it was actually perfect. Yeah. So I don't know. That's a thing. All right, we've got some really good shit to talk about.
Yeah. They arrive.
First off, can I just say, I fucking hate Thens.
Fucking hate Thens. I do love Tormund though, especially when he just kills the shit out of the Lord of Bones.
Lord of Bones, more like Lord of Schmones. That dude got wrecked, bro.
More like Lord of getting pwned. Am I right? Because he got pwned, you
Let's
noob.
Let's move on. This is so fucking dumb. This is a bad joke.
Yeah, it's
Cancel,
a terrible joke.
abort.
So yeah, I kind of went into it already. I really like the Jon and the leaders scene.
The scene in the tent is unbelievable.
Tent is great. Nameless. I don't.
Good music
does she
too, by
get
the
a
way.
name? The gal that's.
I don't know, but she's hot.
She has very beautiful eyes. She's very attractive. But yeah, it's like I said, like Jon's argument is sound, and a lot of the wildlings obviously know and respect Tormund. So when Tormund vouches for Jon, that carries a lot of weight. I love anytime they call him Jon King Crow. That's just very funny to me. I love that.
Yeah, King Crow.
And yeah, this is just an all-around good scene. Jon has leveled up so much this season. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I agree. It's so what this whole like I guess debate that happens in the tent, the back and forth thing, like Jon, I don't know. I mean, Jon does have, I guess, like this seems like a different Jon that we've seen. Like a lot of growth, a lot of evolution, I think, from him in the way that he handles and like kind of negotiates this. Yes, it's inspiring, which he has a lot of those conversations, but like I just think it's different when he's doing it with, like his enemy.
Sure.
I don't know. Something about it that I was like, man, dude, like this dude is just truly reaching another level of like leadership capability and whatever. Love the dude to death.
When the weight and the responsibility of becoming Lord Commander it was like thrust upon him, like, yeah, he kind of, both in the books and the show, Jon kind of had no choice but to like basically, he had to level up. Like there's no other way. Like he had to take that role, and it's like the most fucking tumultuous and terrible time in the Night's Watch history, and now you're like a young kid and you have to guide,
make these decisions
and guide these people through it.
Yeah.
And it's just I love the job that he's doing.
This maybe is not directly related to this episode, but it's a call out that you saying that just made me kind of want to bring attention. I feel like a lot of you guys who are listening, if you're not listening because of our sultry voices or stunningly good looks, you're probably listening because we have some takes on some of our favorite medias that you guys like or appreciate. And one thing that I just really want to draw some attention here to, and I think that everybody should apply to the way that they look at character writing and anything, is characters who make decisions and make things happen are interesting. Characters who move the story along because of the decisions that they make are interesting. And that is a good way to write a character.
Versus characters that things happen to. Is
correct. Correct.
Specifically
yes.
saying.
Yes. And that just like it's one of the reasons that Jon is written so beautifully, and characters like Arya also. They make decisions that are like they may be somewhat personal to them,
right,
but they affect so much.
And regardless of whether or not they are even the right decisions, or
totally,
you know, whether or not it may get them into trouble, like the fact that they are making those decisions is inherently interesting.
Yeah, definitely. So just wanted to say that. All right, let's
get to the
this shit becomes chaotic so fast, and it's hard to even like talk about this because there's just so much that happens.
Yes,
here.
I want to, if I could, harken back to whatever year this was. This was probably 2016, 17, 18-ish. I don't know what year.
No, earlier than that.
Really?
Yes, dude.
When did the show end? Was it 2018? No, 2019. Ended in 2019.
Yeah.
So
and there was 2 years between seasons.
Oh, geez. Okay, so
it had to be like 2015,
2015-ish. Okay.
Yeah.
The first time young lad, wee lad Scott, this is so long ago, is watching season 5. This episode is happening, and it's, you know, it's fine. It's whatever. And this part hits where specifically I'm talking where the fog starts rolling in, you know, the storm is happening, and shit starts popping off.
Yeah.
And I can specifically remember as I am watching this, looking at the time in the episode. And it's like at like 43, 44, I can't remember exactly, like minutes in at this point. And I'm like, are we, like, what are we doing? Like, is this going to be like a cliffhanger right here? Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And then like, as the scene progresses, it's like, oh, this is they're just doing it. They're just doing this, and this is happening now, and it is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
The way this episode popped off, and just the spectacle of this moment, especially then, was something that Game of Thrones was the only show doing shit like this on this level. And when they did it, whether it's Blackwater, Watchers on the Wall, it's just like, it's those moments that stick with you, those episodes that stick with you for so long.
Yeah. It is so wild, man, that like how quickly it turns, and there's nothing in this episode that makes you think we're gonna get something like this.
That's what I'm saying.
To finish it off, it is wild.
It's just like, oh, this is happening now, and it just keeps escalating and like worse and worse. And then like, oh, there's that glimmer of hope when Jon kills the White Walker, and it's like, okay, you know, maybe things can turn around. And then the way it ends is just like, oh, they are just so fucked. They are just absolutely boned.
Lord of Boned.
Yeah.
That was my nickname in high school.
20 good men, but make sure you get the Lord of Bone.
He's my favorite.
He's my favorite.
Dude, okay. Let's kind of take some of what happens in this Hardhome scene, or it's not really a scene, I guess, entire like chunk of the sequence, and let's just break down a couple pieces of it.
Sure.
So some standout pieces to me.
Yes.
Okay.
I have one that you'll probably call it out, but a big one.
Yeah, a big one.
Lord of Bone, am I right?
Okay, first off, the fight between Jon and the White Walker, that is obviously a big deal.
Yeah.
I feel like does such a good job of like, I don't think that up until now we've thought or been shown that these White Walkers have like superhuman strength.
Yeah, or like just really good combat prowess.
Right,
even.
like they're just these kind of like almost like deity type like
right.
beings where they're just so unknown. But like this guy launches Jon. I mean, like throws him across the room.
Yeah.
Obviously they are unbelievably powerful.
Yeah.
So we're getting our first look in the series in season 5, by the way. First look at like what these things are capable of to some degree. It's only a tiny like small interaction, but to some degree. But aside from that, there's a couple other things, but the other thing is like the wall scene when they shut the gates. Like, okay, I don't know, dude. I'm so all over the place. I'm sorry. It's hard for me to collect. There's so much that happens here. So the mist rolls in, people start freaking out, and as the viewer, you're like, oh shit, like what is this? This is not good. What's happening here?
Right. And the show takes on like a horror tone for a brief moment. Yeah.
And Sapochnik, I'm not sure how to say his name, the director of this episode, does the fucking silence thing again.
Yeah.
Where they shut the gates on all the wildlings and rest of the men of the Night's Watch out there, and they're banging on these doors like, let us in, let us in, let us in. It's really fucked up.
Yep.
And then silence.
Yep. It's so creepy.
It is so good.
A little unrealistic, but I'm here for it.
Yes, but hey, dude, it's so good.
Yeah.
And then fucker looks through the hole, and then shit breaks off, and it is just like an instant, like everything is chaos.
And then it's the adrenaline rush. Yes. The sequence that I wanted to call out here is shades of something, a Jon scene that will perhaps take place later. I feel like this was maybe their trial run, if you will. I mean, it's still amazing in its own right. I don't want to diminish it, but there is did you catch this long take of Jon?
Oh yeah.
In this sequence?
I did.
It's
where he's running to the hut.
Yes. It's only like 15-ish seconds long, which doesn't seem long.
No, that's a lot.
But in a sequence like this in film, that is a fucking eternity. Where he does like this spin move and cuts a dude, and he's running to the hut, and it ends with 1-1 busting out of the hut.
Is that 1-1?
Is that fucking 1-1 music? But that long take is sick as hell and done very well. And that stood out to me as like a really cool moment during.
Are you? Maybe I'm misremembering something. Are you not? Like, are you thinking of the scene in the battle at Castle Black?
No, are you talking about well, that was a bit different because it was like you're talking about the one where it spins the 360 pan. No, I'm talking about something later with Jon specifically. Don't worry about it.
Okay, all right.
You'll feel like a real dum-dum once I tell you. I don't want to say specifically. It's a battle with Jon that takes place later.
Okay, well then anyway. It must be in the episode with Jon in the battle, so.
You really not know what I'm talking about?
A one shot?
Yes. A long take. Doesn't matter. Anyway.
Anyway. Fuck me, I guess. Jeez.
Unless I'm the crazy. No, I know.
You're always the crazy one, but.
Anyway, I don't know what the fuck that was.
All right, I don't know why I pinged that.
I don't know why I pinged that. Don't call me out. Anyway, the adrenaline rush, just like the like the intensity, the terror of this sequence is so, it's unlike the other battles that have happened in this show before. Like, it's nothing
it's
like
a battle that can't be won.
It's a slaughter,
just inescapable.
It's not a back and forth like, oh, Tyrion plays his fire trick and then they rush the wall. It's not like Blackwater. It's not like Battle from the Wall where we go all these different places. It is just like terror and slaughter and intensity, and it's so well done.
Yes.
We mentioned in the recap, but like when it first pops off and that fucking music, just the panicking like violins where it's just like, and there's like that overhead shot of them like running into the water, just anything to get away, and it's just like dun 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 dun, dun, and I'm like, fuck yes. It's incredible.
It is really fucking good. So there's couple of like a little bit of like, I guess just like film shots.
Mm-hmm.
One in specific, well, two in specific actually. First off, two in specific. When White Walker walks into the hut and like parts the flames.
Fire. Yeah. That's a flex.
That's so cool.
So many flexes this episode.
So cool, dude.
It's pretty cool.
And then we also get the this is actually just before this, so maybe I should have gone other order, but when they look up and they see the White Walker sitting on the ridge.
That's the one.
Boy, let me tell you, bro, 6 to midnight instantly.
I went the other way. I shriveled right up. I was terrified.
Well, the cold too, I guess. It makes sense. That shit'll make you tortoise neck it.
Yeah, old tortoise necking. That's what they call me. Shouts to my boy Ed, by the way, the voice of fucking reason, when Jon's like, we gotta go back for the dragon glass, and Ed's just like, fuck the glass, what about our lives?
Yeah. And then when the dude, there's so many moments in this.
Yeah.
So when all of the fuckers like fall
off the cliff, yeah,
and they all fall and they get up, you hear Ed go,
yeah,
fuck,
yeah, oh fuck, it's so like raw and real. It's just like,
I love it.
Fuck. It's so good. I love Ed to death.
Okay, the actual fight here
between Jon and the
White Walker.
Yeah. This had been highly theorized, by the way, but only confirmed in this moment that Valyrian steel can indeed kill White Walkers.
Right, okay, so first off, let's address that. For the people who are new to Game of Thrones, we know that many of you guys have probably gotten a little ahead of us who are watching for the first time, because we did have to take some time off. But if any of you guys are still watching with the podcast right now, please obviously take note that this is the first time we're learning that Valyrian steel is effective against White Walkers, and it's not just dragonglass or obsidian.
Because, lest we forget, or in case you have forgotten, every other time that we have seen someone fight White Walkers, normal swords just get instantly shattered. Sam's sword got shattered. My dude in the first episode, whose name is escaping me right now,
Royce,
shattered. Yeah, good call. So yeah, that shit don't fly. That was why, especially, I love the look of surprise that they gave, like the White Walker.
Yes, both of them.
When their weapons clashed and it doesn't shatter, like both of them, look at it like,
dude, he had cartoon eyes.
Yeah, he really did that. Yeah, which is a very good moment. And then Jon, to his credit, takes advantage of the situation and just busts that dude all to hell.
He blocks, parries, spins, and fucking kills this dude.
Hell yeah. Let's go, Jon.
I want to ask your opinion. I'm just being devil's advocate here.
Mm-hmm.
This is something I've thought about, and I don't think I have a problem with it. So that's not why I'm asking. I am truly just curious if you've ever wondered. Do you like that when the Valyrian steel or the dragon glass even like, it seems like if they just like barely like if they get struck with it, like they're dead. Like I kind of would like, I kind of am entertaining the idea of like he needs to be able to like
mortally wound them.
Correct.
Okay.
Just that's something that can actually mortally wound them, you know?
I mean, it's pretty true from what I recall to like the way the book does it. Like I think Sam basically just stabs the White Walker in like the shoulder or the back or something, not necessarily a mortal wound. And yeah, it just kind of
shatters.
Well, as I recall in the books, it more melts them. I could be wrong.
Okay. I can't remember.
I can't remember either. But no, I mean, listen, these are like magical beings and these are magical-ish weapons, and it's like, you know, it has
again, I don't have a problem with it.
A one-hit kill. They went into the options in GoldenEye and they turned on one-hit kill slappers only. They put all of their stats into like physical defense and none in magic defense. So they
none in HP.
Yeah, none.
They have one HP.
They literally have 1 HP.
All right. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Cool. No, yeah, I don't think I have a problem with it either. I was just like, it does in a way kind of seem silly that like let's say Jon got like slashed on his arm, he would be able to keep fighting.
Right.
But if he didn't land like a clean hit the way that he did on this thing, like in the torso, like, and he just slashed him on the arm, like it would just die, and he would be able to kill this like fucking super powerful being.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. It does seem a little strange when you lay it out like that, but I guess it's fine.
What part of they have 1 HP don't you understand?
You know what? That went over my. Okay. All right. I got it now.
You know what I realized watching this episode this time, like especially like this thought popped into my head. I don't know if I've ever had this thought before. I fucking need a Song of Ice and Fire RTS style game where you have like, you know, the White Walkers and the Army of the Dead as a faction and like the Wildling faction and all these that sounds fucking amazing. I don't know if that exists. Maybe it does. But I love a good RTS.
That would be cool, man.
That would be sick as hell.
Dude, even if there was, well, no, I mean, I obviously would prefer for it to be more like catered to a Song of Ice and Fire, but like the way that there's a bunch of reskins on Age of Empire, like how like that could be like an Age of Ice and Fire or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I played. Did I ever tell you that I used to play Age of Mythology? It was like the Greek.
Played that too.
Oh, dude, so fucking cool, man.
I played the Star Wars Age of Empire, or was it? That might have been a different one. I can't remember.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there was a Star Wars one too that was real fun. I played the shit out of when I was a kid. Anyway, we got to talk about this last part here, obviously.
Dude, old Daddy Blue Eyes is a scary son of a bitch, bro.
Yeah, this is like Flex Master Flex just saunters his ass out onto that dock.
And he ate his blue chew because it gets right up, if you know what I mean.
He does indeed.
Does not need help getting it up.
He's just like, oh, you're that Jon kid that killed one of my dudes, huh? Check this shit out.
Dude.
The part that gets me is the eye contact. Like, eye contact is important, as you well know, Zach.
Oh yeah.
And just him staring Jon dead in the eyes as he's, you know, raising his arms and raising these fuckers, is just terrifying and sexual all at the same time. It's just so good. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
It is good.
But yeah, what a moment. What a fucking moment.
So at the end of this, I mean, basically the music swells and it cuts to no music. And it's just these dead bodies waking up in silence. And it is again, the silent thing.
Silence,
and I guess, to be fair, I don't know if this is like one of his coined things, but I am becoming more and more aware of it. And I'm pretty certain that this is something we talked about a lot in House of the Dragon. So
Even once the credits kick in,
yes,
there's no music.
Dude, literally, my note,
It's
credits
like,
with no music.
yep.
Goddamn, just
hard.
gonna make you sit there and think about what you just watched.
Yep. Just I feel like there's just like the quiet lapping of like the water, and I think maybe I'm making this up in my head, but I think that carries over even into like once the credits start. Like,
yes,
it's like just so, because I mean in this moment it is such a somber, terrifying, we are so fucked moment, and the show just like sit in this, just fucking
sit in that puddle of your own making.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking stay there and think about how fucked you are.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Man, that's a lot to talk about.
That is.
That's a lot to talk about. I feel like there's more that I could go on about. But, But goddamn, that's also R.I.P. Hot Chick.
Oh, true. Yeah, she listen, I cannot blame her. Seeing zombified kids would be so fucked up.
Are we to believe that that it's her children?
I don't think so. No, they got on the boats, right?
They did get on the boat.
Yeah, I mean, maybe she knows them or something. I don't know.
Okay.
But this is the one of the ones that always pops into my mind. I know we've referenced it before, but it's like the joke of like, anytime someone has like a heartfelt goodbye moment, or like, hey, I'll see you tomorrow, or I'll see you in a minute, buddy. It's like, oh,
you won't.
This person's dead as hell. And this is like the poster child for that trope in this show. And
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'll be right behind you. Kisses, love forever. It's just like, nah, you're dead. You're so dead.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's do that thing that we do. It's time for Who Be Thrown In.
Who Be Thrown In.
Last week, where we last left off, our guy Sam.
Last time on Dragon Ball Z.
We definitely made that joke many times.
Have
we? I think so. Sam had taken the top spot. The High Sparrow was at 2. Littlefinger was at 3. Maester Aemon, our guy, was at 4. Jorah somehow made the list at 5. King Simp. I'm going to go ahead and say him buying his way into slavery is going to take him immediately off the list.
Oh my god.
Aemon
He's so fucking lame,
is
dude.
no longer with us. R.I.P. He is not on the list. Littlefinger was not on this episode. Sam, I feel like all these people can come off. Yeah, Zach. Sam was barely in the episode.
Yeah.
And High Sparrow was not.
There's not a lot of winners in this episode. This might be a little difficult.
Well,
Tyrion is probably going to be in.
There's a couple easy ones, and I feel like I'll just be the guy that talks about the elephant in the room.
Okay.
This is an easy number 1 for me. This is. Do we talk about his name? They talked about it on the show at the time, or like the Twitter account did, right?
I don't know what you mean.
Like the name and everything. I don't think we actually ever said. It doesn't really matter. It's not like spoiler or anything, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just call him Old Daddy Blue Eyes.
Old Daddy Blue Eyes. This is the Night King, the White Walker leader man. There's no way in hell he doesn't go.
Yes.
Number 1. Okay.
I agree. Not to be confused with the Night's King.
Correct.
Which is a piece of lore and history in A Song of Ice and Fire that we may or may not talk about at one time once we finish this goddamn show.
We may or may not. I have another easy peasy one, if you will allow me, Zach.
Yeah, do it.
Old Johnny Boy.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I had this thought as I was thinking about
Scott, hold on, wait. Did you go and put the Night King?
I did. Aren't you proud?
Yeah,
I was more prepared
You're
than
prepared.
you fucking thought I was.
Look at you.
I had this thought earlier of you know how I can't remember what we were talking about previously, but how we like I feel like season 1 or season 2 we made these rules for this list of like, oh, if you die in an episode, you're not allowed to be number 1 on the list, and how we always break them.
We always break that rule.
I'm pretty sure at some point we also said for the Sam moment. If you kill a White Walker in an episode, you're automatically number one. So here we are again, breaking that rule. But I think Jon, easy.
Jon's an easy lock at 2.
If not for the Night King doing what he does at the end of that episode, this would be Jon at 1.
Yes,
free, but it's not. Who do you like?
I think the only other person that is for sure to me is Tyrion.
I agree completely. Where are you, my guy?
Dany can be petitioned for because she has now acquired a good advisor.
She has acquired a Tyrion.
Yeah.
Where are you, Tyrion? There you are. I agree. I'm just gonna go ahead and slide Tyrion straight to 3rd.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Cool with that.
I'm okay with that.
I think Dany is a strong contender. I was gonna say also Tormund. Where are you, my dude? Is he on here? Yeah.
Ooh.
I can see a Tormund.
I could see a Tormund for sure.
Because I don't really know who
Arya.
else.
I mean, Arya is boring this episode, but she is like leveling up if you want to look at it like that.
I don't
She's
really
being
want to look at it like that.
Yeah, I kind of feel that.
Definitely not Cersei. Who else is in this episode? I think we've got our 5.
I think you're right. Dany 4, Tormund 5.
I think I can definitely shake to that. Let's just do it.
Let's do it, man.
If we forgot someone,
are you scared?
So be it.
Yeah.
But I don't think that we did. That was like the easiest placement of people ever.
That was surprisingly.
Yeah. Like we just had to find our 5 and they slotted right in. Wow! Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
I'll show you 5 that'll slide right in.
Oh no. I set you up too well for that. That is an easy peasy who be thrown in list. That is the Night King
making his
Flexmaster
first
Flex.
appearance.
Yes, first appearance and taking the top spot right out of the gate, much like Oberyn did, I believe. Jon Snow in like any other episode would have taken that top spot free, but he slides to 2. Tyrion finally having some good fucking scenes again. We love him to death at 3. Daenerys, again, great scene with her, only slightly undermined by the ending, but I still liked it a lot. And she got Tyrion as an advisor at 4. And Tormund, he killed the shit out of the Lord Bones, and that was funny as hell. So
yeah,
good for him.
He also convinced the Wildlings to join with Jon. So
true.
Also good.
And
on him.
1-1 said his name, so that's a big win for him.
You know what? Automatic first place. Scott.
Automatic. Yeah. Sorry, Night's King. Dormund. Great stuff.
Fuck yeah.
Zach, why don't you do that thing that you do sometimes?
Well, we've got to rate our episode. We've got to rate our J.
Shit. We got to rate solid. Always solid.
Solid little boy.
I'm going to give this episode... man. I'm going to go... I don't want to go too high, but it's really good. I'm going to go 8.5.
I'm going to go 9.
Okay. I was debating between 8.5 and 9. I can see either.
Yeah, I think that even though the rest of the episode is... I mean, look, the rest of the episode is by no means bad.
Right, no, for sure.
It's very good, actually. It's not like as incredible as the ending.
Right.
But with how monumental and incredible this ending is, I think that it hard carries it up to at least a 9. Especially when we're talking about this rating is comparatively to the rest of Game of Thrones.
Sure, for sure.
Like it's a 9 in my book. There's that thing I do.
Yeah.
If you guys want to keep up with us on the socials, you can go hit us up at We Don't Wanna Pod on Instagram, mostly Instagram. You can do Twitter too if you want, but
Instagram.
Don't you really use the Twitter as much, but you guys can definitely do the thing on Instagram. We're there hanging out. You can shoot us a DM, tell us you love us, tell us you hate us. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review, 5-star rating. Tell us what you think. Unless you think we suck, don't tell us that. We don't want to hear it. It'll hurt our feelings.
Keep it to yourself. Can't
we'll
say
cry.
anything nice. Don't say anything.
Yeah, exactly. 5-star ratings only. If you guys are new to the YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. That stuff does go a long way. And we know we missed some stuff during the Hardhome sequence because there's a lot to talk about there. What's your favorite what's your favorite scene, in this episode? Let us know. Do that thing. Look at that. I'm asking you guys to interact with us.
Yeah,
Isn't
interact with us.
Who am I?
The correct answer is oysters, clams, and cockles.
Oh, oysters, clams, and cockles. And also, shameless secondary plug here. As I have mentioned a couple times before, we've got a few episodes recorded of my new podcast with our dear friend Sam from Harry Potter and the Half Drunk podcast. If you guys are interested in sharing or jumping into that, we'll have some episodes released within a month or so. I think the release date for the first few episodes is March 22nd. It is called Death Wish Podcast. You can find us at Death Wish Pod on Instagram. That would be awesome. You got anything else, Scotty?
Nah, I'm good, brother. Take us out.
I just did. We love you guys.
Well, we'll see you later. Goodbye. Butter smooth. Just buttery smooth.
Smooth.
We know what we're doing here. Get the hell out. I don't
Thank you guys for watching. We will see you guys next time.
Gone. We've been gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I stopped recording. No, I didn't.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
You son.